Hello, welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog, all of which are very much around me today, so I apologise for any ambient noise and interruptions because they are definitely going to happen today. Over Christmas we have sliding doors between our kitchen and our lounge. And I am sitting in the lounge and the kitchen is just behind you, so the doors are open, so we're going to get noise. I apologise, I'm sorry. Hopefully no normal service will resume next week. So welcome, hello to any new viewers, welcome back to my returning viewers, thank you for joining me today. This is a podcast about my knitting journey. Now the knitting project was born from the fact that I have way too many whips, and that hasn't improved over Christmas. I now have way more. So the idea is on different days I work on different projects, and that will come apparent as we move through. So thank you for joining me and let's get into it. Okay, first of all, admin. We have a Ravelry group, which is the scr1tno Knitting Project podcast Ravelry group, and we have a knit along going along at the moment. It is a year-long knit along and it is to knit a square a day on a cozy memory blanket. Or crochet a square a day, or even quilt a square a day. All the rules and regs are in the Ravelry group in the thread. There isn't an FO thread because we won't have one of those until next January. But the idea is that you knit enough squares so that when we do our 3 monthly check-ins, you have that number of squares. So the first one is at the end of March. And because February has 29 days this year, that makes it 91 squares. So you should have a minimum of 91 squares. I say minimum because whips are totally allowed. So if you've already got a square, a blanket that is 90 squares, I'm fairly certain I know someone who has, that you've only got to knit one more square and you've nailed this quarter. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions, leave comments down below or in the Ravelry group. We have a lovely moderator, Katie, who is fantastic. She's going through a bit of a hard time at the moment, so let's send lots of loves and hugs to Katie. Her mum's not very well. So, you know, let's make our Ravelry group really easy on her at the moment, because she is absolutely amazing at getting in and replying to everyone. I go in and read everybody's comments, I just don't get the time to reply, so big love to Katie. So that's it for admin. I have got the black cat drawer to do, which I will do on next week's podcast. I didn't quite get myself together for this week's. So I realised I've forgotten to do the date and the episode number in this because, you know. So it's episode 42 and it's the 10th of January. So it's a Friday, which is a day later than I normally record anyway. But if I wasn't going to do it today, with it being open plan and my family being home at the weekend, I had no hope. So apologies to my black cat entries. I have got 6 or 7 of you, I think. If I get my act together, which I will try to do, I will write the names down of the people I have as entries that have emailed me, either at the end of this video or in the notes below. If you can check your names on there if you've emailed me, that would be great. If it isn't, let me know. So I'll do that today. So yeah, that's it for admin. Let's get into the normal podcast. So day one is socks, and I've got an FO, which I'm really excited about. These are my Soul Sister socks. Aren't they pretty? I love these. These are also still very wet. I managed to finish them day before yesterday, and they are blocking, but they have really not dried yet. So there are 2. And they're not matchy-matchy. They are in the same colour sequence, but where I finished on that toe, so that was the end of the toe, I started the next colour, which is that one, on the cuff, and then went down again. So that's they are sisters, not twins, but being soul sisters, you know. But I love them. So the Soul Sisters sock pattern is a pattern by the lovely Jules of Soul Sweet Violet, and the mini set I used was a Colour Riot set from Hugh Loco in the States, and it's such a beautiful mini set. They are really pretty, and yeah, I love it. So they were knitted. Sorry about that, my SD card just filled up on my camera. Right, going back to these socks. The pattern is for toe up. I am hopeless at toe up, so I did mine top down and reversed the pattern. So if it does look slightly different, that's why, but I couldn't see any difference in it. So if I give you a close up, you can have a look at the pattern. Really pretty. So it's done on the top part of the foot, so the back part is just plain, which is lovely because then it gets to showcase these lovely yarns as well. I thought it worked quite well in that, the pattern worked quite well in these lovely yarns too. So really pleased with those. I'm looking forward to them drying so I can actually wear them. So this is my lovely bag that Sherry Iris made me. And it's gorgeous. It's got my initial on it. I absolutely adore it. So this is my sock sack. And in here I've got my current sock whip, which is a Christmas colourway from Woolly Goodness Yarns. Isn't that pretty? And it sparkles. So I want to get this one finished. I have gone around the gusset decreases and I'm sitting here at the moment on the foot because I am going to see Little Women on Sunday and I want to just whiz up the foot in the cinema. I whizzed down the leg in Star Wars. Now, can you see? My tension got a little bit tighter. I'm guessing when the film was slightly more tense, my tension tightened up, which is quite funny, but it's fine, it'll block out. So yeah, so I'm sort of saving the foot on that for the film, because what day would Sunday be? Let's have a look on the project. Sunday would be, bear with me, Mystery Blanket Day. Well, I can't take my mystery blanket to the cinema, so I'm definitely taking my socks. So whilst I'm in the cinema, I'll knit on the mystery blanket for the rest of the day, but while I'm in the cinema, it will be my socks, and I love it. It's a really pretty Christmas colourway from Jenny of Woolly Goodness. Super soft and squidgy. Her stellina base is very soft, really lovely. So I'm in on the first sock. Yeah, so that will be my sock whip for the moment, and get another pair of socks into my Christmas tin, it's not really a box, tin of socks for next year. That's cool. So that's my socks. So that's day one socks. So day two is shawl day, and I've got two FOs because I'm not sure whether I've shown these on the podcast before. I know I have on Vlogmas, but I thought I'd just show you. I finished my layer cake cowl. It isn't blocked yet. I haven't actually blocked it because my blocking table is actually being used to do jigsaws on at the moment. So I need to block it, but that's my, so this is the yarn I dyed at the retreat, the Willade retreat, and I managed to finish my cowl. Sadly I cannot wear it. The fluff is too close to my nose. It keeps making me sneeze, so I shall be gifting this to someone else. But yeah, once I've blocked it, that will go off and find itself a new home. And my other big FO, which again I'm not sure whether I've shown this or not, is my litmus cowl, which was in my Sherry Iris Autumn Treasures mini set. And I absolutely love it. The colour in between was a full skein, and then these were all minis that I've just repeated throughout. And I love it, and I wear it every day. So it has been blocked, but it's also been worn. It got washed as well, because a second time. Why did it get washed? There was a reason. An accident with some fish, I think. Not my accident with some fish. So I had to wash it a second time, but it's gorgeous. I love it. I wear it all the time. Definitely want another one of these. Right, so that's my two FOs. As I said, apologies if you've seen them before, but I wasn't sure whether I'd show them on the podcast or during Vlogmas. Now, my current shawl whip is also a cowl, and that's hanging out in a Elderflower Stitches bag. How pretty are they? Isn't that lovely? She's got a lovely podcast. She's a genuinely lovely person all round. We want to give her a follow. This is part of her Christmas Eve cast on, which I was going to do, and then I took one look at the amount of whips I went no, enough. So I have put one of my advent projects in here, and this is the Land of Sweets cowl by Curious Handmade from I was going to say last year's knit event. It's actually the year before now, isn't it? So 2018 knit event. Oh no, it's 2017 knit event. Hold on. Last year's was the Dust of Snow, wasn't it? So yeah, 2017 knit event. Sorry. And look, isn't that lovely? So the minis are my advent from Woolly Goodness. Again, it's sparkly, and so it's super soft. Obviously need to block. I haven't blocked it yet because I haven't finished it yet. I'm on colour 13, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, I'm on colour 13. It's going to be very brightly coloured. It will cheer up a dull day. That's the mini I'm using at the moment, which to me is very much Jenny's colours. It's very pretty. So yeah, that's my advent. I'm really pleased with it, and I need to take its Christmas, it's still got its Christmas stitch markers on. I need to take them off, so when I next work on it, it will make it with, I'll take the Christmas stuff off of it and put more stuff on, and a progress keeper for where I was. So that is day 2, shawl day. So day 3 is garment day, and that is hanging out in a giant Christmas bag at the moment because I haven't swapped that over yet. And this is my Ingrid sweater by Isabel Kramer. Now, if I'm lucky, I have a picture. Not on that one, I don't. Is it on this one? Yeah, there we go. This is the Ingrid sweater by Isabel Kramer. Yeah, there was no way it was getting done by Christmas, just say. Might get it done for next Christmas. I didn't really work on this over Christmas at all because I was more interested in concentrating on knitting on my advent projects. That's where that sentence was going. But I have, however, again, this is another project that needs its not to have its Christmas stitch markers on it. I have knit from there to there this week, which you can imagine is quite a bit given the length of this. It's quite a lot of stitches. Now I have lots of ends. Split for the sleeves. So it's looking like that, and I love the colour work on this. So pretty. The yarn is Serdar. It's Serdar Sublime, and it is sublime. It's gorgeous. It is a merino silk cashmere DK, and it's super squidgy. I didn't think it would do the colour work very well, bearing in mind that it's quite a slidey yarn, but as you can see, it has actually done the colour work really, really well. I would totally use it for colour work again. I used it mainly because I've had it sitting in my stash for absolute ages. I love the colours together, so I looked at the yarn and then found a pattern that would fit the yarn, which I'm really pleased about. Now, Isabel's pattern calls for more colours than I have, so I adapted it in the middle on there, that bit there, where I've got the main colour, which is this blue. Or green, it's sort of a mint green. That there is supposed to be a different colour. I looked at it and went, I don't think there's any reason why I couldn't use the main colour in there. I don't think it has to have a different colour. I think the main colour works well. So I did it, I swatched, there's a tiny little swatch lurking somewhere. I haven't got it with me at the moment. Was happy with it and then went for it. So I want to get that finished, to be honest, because I'd like to wear it, but I think in reality it's going to be the next winter wear now. I don't think I'm going to get it done by this winter, unless we have a very cold summer. I can't see me wearing it. Who knows? Talking of which, I am wearing my Understated by Hoki Locatelli in Stranded Dye Works Flower Crown colourway. DK, which I absolutely adore. I need to make another one of these because I live and die in this jumper. Right, so so that's my garment, and yeah, I can't wait to get this off the needles so I can wear it, but in reality I think it'll be next winter now. So day 4 is currently crochet day, and that's hanging out in my caravan bag by Bags by Awesome Granny, which I love. It's always a bit of a summer project bag for me, this one. And in here I have all my minis that my friend Laura of the Loneliness podcast, Katie, who is our moderator, and Jenny, who is Willy Goodness, swapped with me over Christmas. Now, I did a very silly thing, and when I was opening them on Vlogmas, I just popped them in a bag, and I got this into my head that I really wanted to put them into my blanket, which you'll see in a minute, in order. So I sit there with my own Vlogmas, watch my own videos and put them in order. However, I did, and I had these going spare, so I've put them all in here in order. And these ones are Jenny's from her 12 Days of Christmas. I haven't quite finished putting them in yet. And I know I'm starting from that corner, so that corner will be the next one in, all the way across the bottom there, through this, and then back to Jenny's. Okay, so a little bit of a family interruption there. So, as I was saying, I think if you watch, you're a long-term viewer of the podcast, you will know I cannot crochet in a straight line. It ends up going like that. So, instead of doing a granny stripe, I am doing a giant granny square. So that's the start of it, in the middle there. And then this is what it's looking like. So it is slightly different now on all sides because some of the minis won't go all the way around, which is fine, that's cool. It's just looking absolutely crazy and exactly how I wanted it to look. I wanted the crazy look. So I'm really pleased with this, and if I'm honest, it's the only thing I really want to do, but if I crochet for too long, my shoulder lets me know, so I can't crochet for too long. But I love it. Absolutely love it. So I've put this into rotation instead of my Battenberg blanket for the moment, but I'm sure that'll come back out again in the summer. Sorry, you can now hear my dog in the background. Yeah, I love it. I think dog wants to go out. You right, Belle? Yeah? Come in. So we have got a puppy interruption now. Got a puppy interruption. Tell you what, if I video her with this one. Oh no, she's gone. As soon as I get the camera out, she's gone. No. So yeah, so that's my giant granny square. Absolutely loving it, loving the colours, and they're all coming out in the order with which I got them. So I'm really pleased. Oh, right. So that's what am I on? Day 4, crochet day. So day 5 is mystery blanket day, and that is also hanging out in a Bags by Awesome Granny bag. That's just a coincidence. I love this bag. It is a Swan Lake bag. And oh, I am doing a mystery blanket, which is a year-long knit-along run by Debbie Abrahams. And this is last year, so it's the 2019 one. I think it's called Winter Solstice. And I did that square, which I really love. So what I'm doing now is, rather than following them in the order with which they came out, I am doing complete stripes. So this is the second to last square of this stripe. And these are the squares. And my next square will go on the top there, and then that will be this strip done. So it does however need blocking. Most of my stuff needs blocking at the moment. That's because my isn't that pretty? I love that one. That's because my blocking mats are away for Christmas, so I still need to block everything. I'm gonna have a blocking party. It's difficult this time of the year because you haven't got the heating on all the time, so getting stuff dry, like those socks, it's a bit of a nightmare. I love that one as well. I do like the Pharaoh and it's really soft and squidgy, the yarn. But obviously it's got so much beading on it, like that square for instance, that it's not overly warm. I'm not going to say you'd sit under it for long, but it's very pretty and it will make a lovely backdrop for the podcast next Christmas if I get it finished. Talking of which, that is the Cozy Memory Blanket from 2018. So yeah, so that's my day 5 mystery blanket today. So, mystery blanket by W. Abrahams. So day 6 is Scrappy Project Day, and if you are a returning viewer to this podcast, you'll know how much I love a Scrappy project and a mini. So there might be no surprise, there are 2 to show on this section at the moment. This is hanging out in my lovely unicorn bag by Busy Pottering, which I adore. It's so clever. And in here is using my minis from Sherry Iris that I got for Advent. So I was very spoiled and had a couple of Advents. If you've seen Vlogmas, you will have seen them. I am making a habitation throw. And this is the knit vent pattern from Curious Handmade for 2019, along with very many others. And I love it. I just think it's so pretty. These colours are going to be gorgeous. It's very intuitive, it's very easy to do, it's great TV knitting and a great way of using up your minis. So you keep knitting until, well, I'm keeping knitting until I run out of mini, I think. I think that's what I'm doing, I believe that's what I'm doing. So all my yarn will go into this. Really pleased with it, absolutely love it, it's really intuitive. So that's that one. So that's my Sherry Iris Advent Minis habitation throw. And because one is never enough, in here, which is bagged by So Sweet Violet, is also a habitation throw by Curious Handmade from Knit Event 2019, and this is made from Kelly of Lay Family Yarns minis. And as you can see, I'm a bit further along with this one. I'm on colour 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just putting in starting colour 5 on that one, and I love it. Every time I get this out, it's the only thing I want to knit on. I need to hide it from myself. Can't wait till Scrappy Project Day. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with Scrappy Project Day. I might do a mini about, so I will finish the mini in this one, and then I'll finish the mini in the other one and do it that way. Or I might just concentrate on one of them and get one of them done. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But I love it. Absolutely love working on this. Great TV knitting, great car knitting. I should have a car journey coming up shortly. I may take this with me. Yeah, so much fun. It's soft, it's squidgy. That's my current mini that I'm putting in. And I am beginning to blow out because the sun has just crept around the corner. So it's just as well I'm near the end. So that is day 6, Scrappy Project Day. Next up is my Cozy Memory Blanket. Again, if you're a long-term viewer of the podcast, you know this, so please bear with because I have got a couple of new subscribers. I knit a square a day on a Cozy Memory Blanket. Now that one there is my 2018 Cozy Memory Blanket. So I knit a square a day, and you do a little bit more. So there's 380 squares in these. So I do 365 plus a couple more, and you get a nice size, lap size blanket. So that's my 2018 one, and this is my 2019 one. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know I only just snuck this in under the wire on 2019. That one I didn't finish in 2018, I didn't finish 2019, but it is still my 18 one. Now I have got little tabs that I have made. And there is a link to this. It's JS Lasercrafts, I think. There is a link to this in the past show notes on our Ravelry group. But if you can see, it says scr1tno made in, and this should say 2019, hopefully. Oh, yeah, it does say 2019. So I'm going to stand up, try and show it to you. And if I can, I'm going to try and do some FO photos of it today, so I'll just have the photos of it at the end. Right. let's see what we can do. I say it's huge. So this is 380 squares, which I think is 19 by 20. I think that's right. And it is quite big. I mean, it's bigger than my wingspan. You really can't see how big it is for reference. So I'm 5'2", and it's, if I hold it up to my nose, it's just on the floor. So 4 foot and quite a big bit. And it's way longer than my wingspan. I can't hold it wingspan wise. So if I fold it in half, it's double that, which again doesn't even fit in the camera. So they are a good size. When you're finished with them, they are a good size. Now, if you wanted to, and you wanted it for something like a king size bed, and you're willing to put in the work, what you could do is do the same thing over 4 years, and sew the 4 together in the middle. I think you'd have a giant one. It'd be absolutely humongous. So you could do it that way if you've got the patience to wait 4 years to do it. I mean, I've got 2 and I'm on my 3rd one. So next year would be the year. So it goes quite quick. So in here, which is my lovely seaside bag by Busy Pottering, which I adore, is my this year's 2020 Cozy Memory blanket. And it's a little bubba. It's a little baby, look. But I have got my 10 squares. So I have done my square a day. Haven't really, I had to do 2 this morning. I nearly done 2 today. So what have we got? We've got Sherry Iris Summer Celebration Club, mint a set. Also Sherry Iris Summer Celebration, Sherry Iris Summer Celebration, and Sherry Iris Summer Celebration. That is Megan Lay from Lay Family Yarn, who did an Easter set last year, as is that one. That is Sherry Iris, that is Sherry Iris, that is Sherry Iris, and that is Sherry Iris. So I'm trying to use my summer celebrations by Sherry Iris, but I'd left the bag that they're in downstairs, so I used a couple of Megans as well. So that's the start, and that is my starting square, that one there. So that one I will always keep that stitch marker on, so I know that that's the square I started with. And eventually that will have the little tab on it as well. So yeah, it's off, it's away, it's growing. I quite like it when it's this stage because it's so easily portable and so easy to show on the podcast. I can take all my stitch markers off now. So yes, that's the Cozy Memory blanket. I hope you're all getting on really well with yours and you've all got started. Those of you that are joining in with the cow, this should be good fun. So acquisitions, I obviously got a fair bit of yarn for Christmas. I'm not going to show you it all. There is sort of some footage of me putting it away, if you look really closely on my last Vlogmas. But I will tell you where it all came from when I use it, I think is probably the easiest way. I have got a couple of acquisitions. I have some minis, which are the little tiddlers from Hedgerow Yarns. Which I normally buy the 20 gram ones, but I actually like the colours of the 10 gram ones more. So I got those ones instead. And to be honest, 10 grams is perfect for what I'm using it for, and still have enough left over from my actual Cozy Memory blanket. The other thing I got was from Knit Style Yarns, which is her festive mini set, because there are 2 reasons. Number one, I thought it would be useful, don't let me take it out, it'd be useful to have some plain colour, Christmas colours, to go with all the festive socks I've got. So that was number one. Number two, I am thinking of using any Christmas colours in a separate blanket Now, whether I crochet squares for that, I think I probably will crochet squares for that blanket. Now, if you're watching the Bakery Bears, Kay has done a new crochet square, which is brilliant. So I might use her method of doing the squares, and if I come across Christmas coloured yarn, I'm just going to crochet the squares. Now also, if you see my previous videos, so apologies for new viewers, the way I've joined my Battenberg blanket together, where I chain it together, I'll do that with these squares as well to make it easier. But I'll probably do that in a plain undyed yarn, which, to be fair, I'm doing that on my Battenberg blanket as well. I've probably got enough of that left to be able to do both. So what I might do is just grab all the Christmas minis or leftovers and make squares for a Christmas blanket that will only actually come out and go on the back of a chair or something at Christmas, because I have not enough to do. Oh dear, it's not good, is it? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Watch this space. But yeah, that's my acquisitions this week. So I think that's it this week. I haven't got anything else to show you, just chat stuff. I am hoping to get to the Waltham Abbey Wool Show next weekend on the 19th. So if you are around and you are going, A, let me know, and B, if you see me, do stop me and say hi. I should be with Laura from the Lonely Knitter podcast. So yeah, please stop us. Stop and say hi. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. It'll be the first wool show of the season. So far I have that in the diary, and I have the Southern Wool Show in the diary, and possibly one with Laura that I need to double check is still happening, which is sometime in June, I think, which is down my way. Well, that's it. That's the only ones I will be going to. I am not going to Unravel this year. Well, at least I'm not at the moment. Plans could change. Kate may go, as in my daughter may go with me. We will see. That's it really. I am off to Italy for a few days. It's not a week. On the 1st of Feb, which could be problematical, bearing in mind that if Brexit happens, goodness only knows what will happen with travel. So yeah, that's happening. So we'll see. We'll see whether I end up going or not, because I said to hubby, I'm not going to go and sit at an airport for 4 days. So we will see. We'll see on that one. Yeah, that's it really. I don't think I've got anything other than it. We're all just back to normal. We're getting, it's sort of a normal week this week. I'm not quite back to normal because we haven't gone back to guides and brownies yet. That's next week. So I'll be more of a normal schedule next week. Can't say I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. It's going to be a busy few days, I think. My cat is just prowling around the table and completely distracting me. Do you want to come say hi? Come on. Seeing as it's indie bits, look. Come say hi. This is Luna. He does not appear very often in the camera or on the vlogs because he's a bit camera shy, aren't you? Hey. Yeah, he's off. It's like, no thank you, Mum. Bless him. Right, with that, I'm going to leave you. I haven't got anything else to say. Hopefully I will see you next week. I should be back on schedule now. This should go up on Sunday. So I've given myself a little while to get it edited, because I don't like to rush the editing. So I record normally on a Thursday to put up on a Sunday. Hopefully that will be back to normal next week. Didn't help because I didn't actually work from home this week on Thursday, so I had to shift it till Friday. But the sun is now coming around the corner and blinding me, so it's my signal to stop. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.